Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin update, Bitcoin video, crypto video, whatever you want to call it today. It's not TA. It does have TA elements, okay? It does have elements of TA, and it does ultimately give you a very, very good idea of what you should be doing in Bitcoin exactly, in cryptocurrency exactly, in terms of a long-term investing standpoint. I'm going to be discussing in this video having a plan, the importance of having a plan. It sounds boring, it sounds lame. Wolf, why aren't you talking about Bitcoin to 100K? Why aren't you talking about Bitcoin going to 10K? Because those are clickbait topics. I've talked about them so many times, I don't need to talk about them again at this point in time. I will talk about something that I find very, very important. I think every single person watching this video will get usage from this video. Guys, Eisenhower, Dwight D. Eisenhower, 34th, I believe, President of the United States of America, also absolutely critical part of the American armed forces in World War II. He's one of the people who came up with the idea, I believe he came up with the idea of finishing off Germany first in World War II rather than focusing on Japan and then shifting attention to Japan. He was also massive in defense of the Philippines, so he had a role in Pacific Theater, and then obviously went into be the president. So, you know, big bloke there, you know, very, very intelligent man, very, very smart man, and obviously a very influential man. And he came up with a quote. Now, I'm going to get the quote here because I didn't actually memorize the quote. I've got it right here on my computer. In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Now, another presidential type quote, right, was from Eleanor Roosevelt. Roosevelt's a very everyone knows the name Roosevelt, right? But she said, "It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan." So we've got two quotes here from two very, very important people, especially, you know, from United States history, from a very similar time period as well, both in the 40s, right? Both of which expressing the importance of planning. Eleanor says, okay, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. The logic behind that is that if you sit there wishing, right, for things over and over and over again, you're actually spending a lot of time wishing for those things. You're spending a lot of mental energy, you're mentally fatiguing yourself in wishing it, when in reality, you could just make a plan and bring it into existence, okay? There's no point in wishing for things. You can make a plan, you can take action, you can bring it into existence. That's the importance of having a plan. And then, you know, Eisenhower said, in preparing for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Basically what these two people are saying, and I'm using them, obviously just because someone is influential doesn't mean every single quote they say is factual, or every quote they say is inherently objectively correct. The fact of the matter is I'm using them as examples for the point I'm about to make. The point I'm about to make is this: you need to have a plan for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency. What is your plan? We'll get into that in a second. Guys, I have five, I know it sounds like I'm going off topic here, bear with me. I have five very important virtues, right, that I've held pretty closely, okay, for multiple years now. Now, I went through the list of virtues. I think there was a list of virtues that I just came across, I think 2021, 26, 27 virtues, something like that, and I just picked out five which I really, really liked. And I thought about them for a long period of time, and I picked out five and I wrote them down. The virtues are this, okay? Courage, integrity, wisdom, discipline, and the last one is tolerance. Now, I don't know how many of you listen to the PBD podcast, but he also has tolerance as one of his virtues. And he said recently, you know, tolerance perhaps isn't actually a good virtue to have, okay? Because there's only so tolerant you can be of the intolerant. If people are intolerant towards you, right, you can't necessarily be tolerant of the intolerance. It's a big problem. It's kind of like a what would you call it? I guess you could say a paradox of some sort, right? The tolerance paradox. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing or not, but I'm coining it right now. The people who claim to be the most tolerant are actually the most intolerant. How can I be tolerant of the intolerant? At some point, I need to stand up to it. I believe in having intolerance towards the intolerant. That is what I said there in my notepad. So I believe, obviously, courage, integrity, discipline, wisdom, and tolerance are actually very virtuous things and very, very things I hold very close to myself. But if someone is intolerant towards me, intolerant towards, you know, my beliefs, I will be intolerant towards them. And that is the idea of being intolerant towards intolerance. I believe, guys, that we are seeing a coordinated attack on cryptocurrency, coordinated attack on what, you know, cryptocurrency is and what it stands for. And this attack is coming from, you know, institutions and governments. Now, you might say, oh, Wolf, but what do you mean? Institutions are adopting cryptocurrency. Governments are putting out frameworks to adopt cryptocurrency and not necessarily adopt, but at least create a space for them to exist in their country and exist legally. I agree with you. I don't think necessarily that we will see a world anytime soon. Perhaps it will happen in the future after central bank digital currencies, but I don't believe in the near future we will see a world where Bitcoin is banned, where cryptocurrency is banned. I just don't think that will be the case, at least yet. Perhaps in the future it will be when people have been indoctrinated enough, but I don't think at the moment that is the case. I think what we're seeing now, though, is still an attack. It's still a degree of intolerance in the cryptocurrency space. It's a degree of intolerance on the values of cryptocurrency, the libertarian values that cryptocurrency pushes. And that intolerance is coming in the form of them trying to centralize the market, seize control from the market. The fundamental part of cryptocurrency that people find to be important, fundamentally, is decentralization. Decentralization is freedom, okay? Everyone who's in cryptocurrency, everyone who's watching this video should know at least a decent amount about the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, fundamentals of Bitcoin, and they should agree with that to a certain extent, I believe at least. Decentralization is freedom. If you have a decentralized asset, okay, a decentralized alternative investment, not even a currency. Don't worry about currency. Don't worry about using it every day. If you have a place to put your money that is separate, right, to the system run by the state, and that system is obviously being exposed to flaws, exposed to errors, right, made by the state, such as the removal of the gold standard, such as printing during 2020, right, massive amount of printing, causing massive amounts of inflation, scapegoating the rich as the cause of that inflation, when it's in reality is just the printing and the poor monetary management. When you have an alternative investment, an alternative place to put your money, an alternative place to store value during periods of time like that, that is freedom. That is decentralization. What they're trying to do is they're trying to take away that decentralization. And they're not doing it by outright banning Bitcoin, by outright banning cryptocurrency. They would never do that. Well, not at least, as I said, not at least in the meantime, because that's too authoritarian, that's too strong-handed. People would revolt. People would not be happy about that. It would cause chaos, right? It's simply not acceptable at this point in time. But what they're doing, right, is they're limiting how you can buy cryptocurrency, right? And they're stacking the cryptocurrency for themselves, trying to control as much of the market as possible. We've seen in Australia, we've seen in Canada, for example. Here's a great example. Canada has banned, or not necessarily banned, but they've severely limited, okay, the amount of cryptocurrency you can buy per financial year. I think it's about 10,000 Canadian dollars per financial year of cryptocurrency, other than Bitcoin, other than Ethereum, other than Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. Those are the four you can buy limited amounts of. Other than those coins, there is a $10,000 limit per year of cryptocurrency you can buy. That is a direct attack, a direct display of intolerance, okay, for the values that cryptocurrency upholds. Intolerance for freedom. That's basically what it is. It's intolerance for freedom. In Australia, they haven't taken such a dramatic step, but they're moving towards it. Okay, we've got banks in Australia banning, outright banning, and sometimes limiting, right, deposits to certain cryptocurrency exchanges. And we've certainly seen discussions from other Western countries of thinking of doing the same thing, particularly in the EU. So, you know, here's the thing, right? Here's where you run into a situation where if you agree that tolerance is a virtue, okay, and you agree that intolerance is bad, at least, okay, you have a situation in which they're basically attacking cryptocurrency. They're attacking the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. They might not be trying to ban it, you know, yet, but they are attacking its fundamental purpose. So how do you react to a situation like that? How do you react when you are under attack? And this is where I bring in the quote from Eisenhower. Eisenhower was a bloody general, for God's sake. A general, right? He was under attack all the time. Under attack in the Pacific Front, under attack in Pacific Theater, under attack in the European theater, under attack, I believe he was even in the Korean War, okay, World War I. He's under attack all the time. He knows about planning. He knows about reactions, right? What you need to do when you're under attack is you need to resort to the plans you should have made. What are the plans you should have made? Okay, well, that's what we can get into right now. Basically, what I'm saying is this, and this is why I'm a breakout trader. There's 2 points I'm about to make right now. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. This is why I'm a breakout trader. I make plans, all right? No matter which way, and if you follow my analysis for any period of time, you would know this. No matter which way I think the market is going to go, I make plans. I don't care where it goes. Either way, wherever it goes, I will still be profitable because I have a plan for either way. I have a setup for either way. If we've got a triangle formation, for example, and that triangle formation could break to the upside, it could break to the downside. Okay, I'll have a plan to the upside. I'll have my take profits to the upside. I'll have a place I'll put my stop loss. I'll have the key indicators, and I'll have the exact same thing to the downside. I don't care which way the triangle breaks anymore because either way it goes, I've got a plan, and both sides of that plan are profitable. That is the importance of planning, and that's why he says that plans in a way are useless, but they are necessary. You need to have a plan. Now, what is your plan for Bitcoin? Okay, moving away from a topic of intolerance, right? I mean, you should have a plan for that in general, whether it be moving out of the country, that there will be restriction, moving out of your home country if there's going to be restrictions on cryptocurrency, on Bitcoin, etc., or storing it, before those restrictions take place on cold wallets, storing it out of sight, etc. There's multiple things you could do, or just even if it's just maximizing the amount of value you're getting from cryptocurrency now before those potential legislations are passed in your country. Those are 3 things you can do. Those are 3 plans you can make very intrinsically. Get a bloody document up on your computer, for God's sake. Get off TikTok, get off Instagram, stop scrolling. Get a document up on your computer and write down a fucking plan. This is how you're going to move forward. You're not going to move forward by just brainlessly looking at the market every day and just kind of go with the flow. I've never once gone with the flow in any trade I've ever done. And if I have, it's probably a failing trade. I'll tell you that much right now. The trades that I go with the flow with on are the ones I lose. You need to have a plan. There needs to be planning involved. So, what are you going to do in regards to this intolerance that's been showcased on the behalf of the governments? What are you going to do about it? You have to have a plan about it. And it goes deeper than that as well. What are you going to do about Bitcoin? Forget the government, forget regulation, forget centralization of the decentralized assets, digital currencies. What are you going to do about Bitcoin? We know what's happening with Bitcoin, okay? We know we're in a 4-year cycle theory with Bitcoin. We know we're in a 4-year cycle date range trend with Bitcoin. We know that after the halving, there's a bull market. This has happened 3 times now. We're coming on the 4th time. We know this is the case. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to ignore that trend? You can ignore that trend. That's fine. That can be part of your plan. Perhaps if we go below a certain point, perhaps if we do a certain thing and it doesn't happen as we planned, okay, then that can be a plan in itself. I certainly have an invalidation plan. I sit here all day on my crypto YouTube channel and I say that Bitcoin's going to go to a certain price point. I say that Bitcoin's going to do certain things, and I fully accept the fact that it could just not do what I expect. And I have invalidation zones. As I said, 24.5K. If we go below that, I don't think Bitcoin looks good anymore. I have a plan. I have a backup plan. But my main plan is that I think Bitcoin will continue doing what it does. And I think that Bitcoin after the halving will see a bull market in 2024, late 2024, and the whole of 2025, I think we'll see a bull market. So I've planned myself accordingly. I've made my plan, okay? And that is, I've bought Bitcoin at great average prices, long-term Bitcoin bags. I've continued trading. I've actually advanced my trading knowledge further than it even was. I've studied the altcoin market. I've studied extensively how Bitcoin dominance moves. I've studied extensively how altcoins move. I understand very, very fully now that altcoins don't outperform Bitcoin until after the halving. In fact, a little bit after the halving, a few months after the halving. And therefore, investing in altcoins until a few months after the halving is a losing game. You can do it. You can try to do it. You can find the exceptions. I probably will. I'm just saying the odds are not in your favor. That's a plan. That's something I understand, that I have that knowledge in my head and I incorporate it into my investing strategies in Bitcoin. That is a plan. Guys, the main point I'm trying to make to you in this video is this. You're not going to get very far in this market going with the flow. People think you can learn TA. And by the way, for God's sake, learn TA, okay? That's a separate point. Learn bloody TA. Learn how to trade the charts. Learn technical analysis. You can't go through this market expecting to make money if all you're doing is following the news or guessing. It's just not going to happen for you. For God's sake, learn TA. Do yourself a favor. Crypto Academy in the description below. We teach you TA on there. You don't have to learn through me. I'm just saying that's one way you can do it. I teach people how to learn TA. 10-unit course, Crypto Academy. Check it out. The point of the matter is this. Learn TA. Have a freaking plan, guys. Yeah, as I said, you can't... People think, I don't know where this idea comes from, and I'm not even sure if it's a widespread idea. I just get the feeling that it's out there. They think, oh, Wolf, you know TA, therefore you can just go jump on any random coin and just trade right away and just go and you can just do it. No. I sit here and I literally meticulously look through every single coin on the BitGet exchange, which is the exchange I use. I look through every single coin I can trade on that exchange on a weekly or sub-weekly basis, I go through every single coin, 50, 60, 70 coins, every chart. I swear to God, every chart. I take 6 hours on my day. I just look at every single chart. I identify every single important structure, every single support and resistance zone on that chart that I can find. I list it all down. I got a notepad down and I list it all down for each coin. The importance things for each coin. Now, some coins I can't find anything on. There's no point. I throw them out. But the other ones I add to my watch list. That's a plan. I'm planning, okay, if it does this, I will do this. If it does this, I will do this. Da 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 da. I've got a plan here. This is how I'm going to react if that happens. This is how I'm going to react if that happens. That is a plan. That is why I'm profitable. I can't just jump on a random coin and make money instantly. That's not how trading works. Guys, have a plan. When it comes to trading, when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to the fact that governments are getting stronger and harsher on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, when they're getting more strong-handed in trying to take it away from us in a certain sense, have a plan. And that is the only way, ladies and gentlemen, that you will succeed in a financial market and in any facet of your life, basically. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the unique video today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.